Hi again, everyone. It's Joff, and we'll be answering questions from ChatGPT that are in related to me living independently. So, you may not know, but I've been living independently for the past 3 years already. And I just want to do a personal checkpoint and at the same time, probably create a vlog that would somehow help you, educate you, or maybe get some answers, or maybe just to kill some time with you. So yeah, let's get right into it. So the first question is, why did I start living alone? So living alone is something that I actually did not really dream of when I was really young. Um, but eventually, during pandemic, maybe because I was, I felt like I was stuck at home. I had to be with the family 24/7. That of course, as expected, resulted to misunderstanding, and something in between. So I really wanted to have my own place so that I would have my own rules. I can do whatever I want. I can invite my friends anytime without worrying about other people. So basically, that's the reason why I wanted to start living alone. Next is, how did you feel during your first night, week, or month? Um, Honestly, it wasn't that really hard for me. A lot of people were actually expecting that it may be very challenging because you're going to be by yourself. You have to do everything literally by yourself. But maybe because I have experienced living somehow independently or far from my family. I had my OJT in the US. I was an ESL teacher for a few years and I was a stay-in teacher, meaning I lived where I was working. So basically, I had a good experience living independently. So it wasn't really that hard. um, Maybe it's more of like getting overwhelmed with the chores because you literally have to do everything and you have to maintain the house at the same time. Um, Third is, what kind of place did you move into and why that specific one? Okay. So when I decided to purchase my own house, I didn't have really a lot of options considering the budget that I have. So, my first requirement was I at least wanted to be, of course, in a very good community or in a gated subdivision because I wanted to be sure of my security. Second is I need at least two rooms. So basically, most of the options here in our area, it's going to be like two stories houses. So yeah, that is why, considering the budget, the location, and the options that I have, I ended up choosing this two-story house. It has two bedrooms. It has one bathroom. It has a garage, so yeah, I don't have to park on the street. That's something I also, by the way, considered. I also wanted to have a balcony and a garden. So yeah, um, so I live in a house, not a condo. It's a gated subdivision. Next, next section. This is actually our category. This is under mental and emotional journey. So the question is, or the fourth question is, what has living alone taught you about yourself? So actually, there's a lot. It's like when they say you have to travel by yourself for you to get to know yourself more. It's something that is very similar when you live independently. So you're gonna just be very surprised about how complex your personality can be. A lot of people, or most of my friends, especially who I met in college, probably knows me as someone who's very extroverted, someone who has a lot of friends, someone who has a lot of energy, something like that. But when I started living independently, and of course, I spent most of my time by myself, just like this. I I shifted, or I felt like I leaned towards more of the introvert side, which I did not know I could. That's number one. Second is how can I say, you being very random. That's something that I really didn't have very much probably freedom, or maybe I was just hesitant when I was living with my family. So it's like literally, I suddenly want to do this, I'll do it. I suddenly want to lay down on the floor. I suddenly want to get drunk. I suddenly want to start creating craft, something like that. I want to rearrange the house in the middle of the night, something like that. I did not expect myself to be that very random and just listening to my intrusive thoughts and just doing it. Um, Next question, number five. So, what are the biggest emotional challenges you face? Um, I think this is very expected of everyone because living independently is fun, but it can be lonely at times. Not all the time, but of course, we all have our weekdays. So there are days that it's very challenging, especially if you are drowned with the chores, like you have to clean the bathroom, you have to do your laundry, you have to do your grocery, you have to take your pet. Well, basically, I have a cat. I have to take him to the vet. Something like you have to be everyone to yourself, and that is very overwhelming. And it hit me in a sense that I think it would be easier if I have someone, at least one person, a partner or a friend, or a sibling, with me so that I can accomplish more things and it's going to be somehow lighter. But yeah, of course, in the end of the day, if this is going to be me, I just have to, first embrace that emotion and then after that, I'll just, um, proceed right away and not pretend, but it's like I have accepted that it happened, but I'm not gonna dwell into that. All right. So yeah. Number six, how do you handle loneliness or silence? Okay. So basically, I think I already answered when it comes to loneliness. For silence, um, there's something I also learned about myself that I actually really enjoy silence. Now I easily get annoyed. I have developed this uh, short patience for noisy people or noise in general. Uh, I am a very light sleeper, so it's hard, but um, silence is not really a problem for me. Loudness is actually more of a problem. Seven, did it change your relationship with yourself? Of course, it did. It really did change a lot about my relationship with myself. Because as you dig deeper about yourself, as you experience more things, you get to know yourself, which means you have closer bond to yourself. Not everyone would have the courage to face their demons. Not everyone has the courage to call out themselves and reflect whenever they need to. So yeah, I was able to have a stronger relationship with myself. Next, we have number eight, day-to-day realities. This is another category. What's a normal day like when you're alone? Or I don't think we have to use the word alone because yeah, obviously I live independently. But anyway, so my day starts like yeah, when I wake up, I um usually just go downstairs right after I wake up. I just brush my teeth, floss. If if I did not shower yesterday, that's the first thing I do. I also um how can I say? I also do my morning release of what I mean, and then after that I just use my phone or I just how can I say watch TV, something like that. I don't really eat. I'm not a breakfast person. Brunch it can be. So yeah, if it is a weekday, of course, it's just me preparing for my job, for my work, something like that. But if it is a weekend, I usually try to do my best to hang out with my friends or family whenever it's a weekend. And then after work or after hanging out, I just go home, play with my cat, watch TV, something like that. So it's a very routinary type of daily life, to be honest. Number nine, what are the things people don't realize are hard when you're solo? Okay, so I think not a lot of people realize that number one, yes, it is freeing. You have everything, or you have all the freedom, you have all the authority, you call the shots, you don't have to ask permissions from other people. But, but you also have to realize that you have to do literally everything by yourself, which was a bit challenging for me during the past few weeks. Because, um, of course, I have to move in. After moving in, you have to arrange the house. After that, you realize that you have to purchase a lot of things for you to live conveniently. So you literally have to buy everything now, like up to the toilet bowl cleaner, brushes, sponges, dishwashing liquid, detergents, like literally everything up to the smallest thing, Q-tips, um, you know. So everything is gonna be part of your expenses, which you really have to have a good um, plan on, especially if you just have limited resources with your finances. Um, Another one is that it is challenging and it can be dangerous or risky. Like you have to make sure you have enough security in your house because there's no one else in your house when you leave. So that's something that I also realize it's very important when you're living solo. Invest on security related features for your house. Like in my case, I invested on digital locks, grills. I have the grills installed right even before I move in. Um, what else? Not a lot of people realize how hard it is to maintain a house. Not just about the cleaning, but uh, you know, house is something that also ages. So what I noticed, like sometimes the paint, especially the outdoor paint, because of the exposure of the sun, of course, it fades something, it's something like that. Or let's just say, the faucet, you accidentally broke a faucet or something that just stopped working. The outlets became kind of loose so that some of your appliances are not working well. So yeah, basically you have to be the first line of help before because if you always hire someone to do things for you, you would spend a fortune just maintaining the house. Next, 10th question, last in the category. How do you manage chores, groceries, cooking, and bills? I am a person I'm a planner when it comes to job, if there are projects, but I don't know why I don't really apply that in my living independently journey. But for me, the groceries really happen on weekends, especially if I wake up early or I don't have anything to do in the afternoon. So I usually do that. I, how can I say? Fortunately, I have a fridge, so I don't really do on a weekly basis. But when I need to, it's mostly weekends. Um, Cooking, I actually do not really cook at home because I don't think it's convenient or I don't think it is cost effective because I have to buy literally everything. So I started off by ordering some food from a lutong bahay or karinderya near our area and then they just deliver it to me. But eventually when I started doing meal prep um to somehow living healthy as well, uh, I cook in bulk and then just freeze them and then just use microwave whenever I need to eat or whenever I feel hungry. Also, I don't mind repeating food, so yeah, I don't really cook a lot of variations. But yeah, cooking is not really a problem for me, and also I enjoy cooking, so it's fine. Bills is yeah, this is also very critical. What I do is whenever I receive my salary, for example, when I was still working for corporate, which, we have, how can I say, salary date on the 5th and 20th, I always do all of my bills on 5th, every 5th of the month. So like I really sit down in front of my computer with all of the lists that I have to pay. And then, yeah, I just settle them at once. I pay everything through online wallet, but of course there are, in case I need to pay in person, I do them probably weekends or after work, something like that. And then chores, yeah, chores is something that is kind of like um it's getting annoying as you go along. Um, I like doing laundries because, there's washing machine. You just have to throw them in, push the buttons and let the washing machine do the magic. For the dishes, I don't have a dishwasher, so I have to do everything manually. Sometimes, or most of the time, when laziness hits, I put my dishes for one for more than a day. Like I wash every other day. Um, like they piled up on the sink. Yeah. So basically, that is the category for day-to-day realities. Um, Number 11, finances and responsibility. Okay, this is getting serious. Okay, was it financially difficult at first? How do you budget now? Yeah, it was very, very difficult at first because it's like I was living more of a trial and error life. Um, and of course, at that time, I wasn't like really earning that much. Um, so it was very hard for me to juggle all of my bills. Because imagine you have to pay for your water, your electricity, your internet, and then for your house, right? And then for your supplies, groceries, whatever. So it was very financially difficult at first. That is why I was motivated to look for a better paying job, which fortunately I was able to find. That is why. And then how do I budget now? My budgeting style is very, very simple. It's very straight to the point. So whenever I receive my salary, what I do is I pay all of my bills first. That is a non-negotiable thing. So once I receive my salary, I have to literally pay everything. The utilities, my car, insurance, what else, credit cards, name it, like everything. I have to make sure everything is zero. And then once I have that peace of mind, I then look at what is left because, the cost is, um, how can I say, changing every now and then, especially considering I use my credit card. And then upon looking at the remaining amount that I have, then I decide how much do I save and how much do I keep for myself to spend. So yeah, I'm not um, very, how can I say, I don't save more than I can. It's different from I don't spend more than I can, which means I just save what is realistic so that I don't end up, pulling or getting it again from the savings account. So yeah, I hope that is enough answer for that. Question number 12. We only have two questions for this category. What are the biggest unexpected expense or responsibilities? I think I've mentioned this earlier, but one of the most unexpected expenses are the supply expense that you usually don't buy when you were still living with your family, like cleaning supplies. Cleaning supplies are very expensive. They actually get a good chunk amount of money when you buy your groceries. Imagine like your dishwashing liquid, your the sponge. Now you have to make sure you change that according to the frequency of usage. And then what else? The the toiletries, even the cleaning supplies for your restroom, cleaning supplies for your floor, like literally the cleaning supplies, your laundry detergent as well. Those are kind of very unexpected type of expense that really cost um, a good amount of money. And then for the responsibilities, I think again, you have to be a handyman yourself. You I mean, I encourage you to do that. You don't just hire someone all the time because sometimes it's just very simple. Sometimes it's just a loose screw. Sometimes you just have to turn it off and then turn it on again so that it's gonna work. So basically, you have to do the basic troubleshooting or the basic way to fix things. That is a very good type of skill and responsibility. Next is for your relationship and social life. This is another category, which led us to question number 13. Did living alone affect your friendship or dating life? I think it's more of the dating life. Friendship, oh yeah, even friendship. Friendship, what I mean by this is it can make the relationship stronger because you can have them over anytime you want to. um but it can make it weaker because there would be times that you're going to be so lazy to go out because you are very comfortable at home and you don't have the energy to hang out with other people because you are so used to being by yourself, staying in your house. Dating life, I can say, yeah, it really affected a lot. Um, I became less of a chaser. I became less of a person who is very determined to have a partner in life because as I go along in this journey, since I depend on myself more, I survive things, challenges, whatnot by myself. I became more self-reliant, which somehow is not very healthy because I feel like I don't really need someone to look after me. I feel like there might be another chore, responsibility, something. But I know, no, as they say, no man is an island. So yeah, I'm trying to work on that. And hopefully, we're going to have a good progress soon. All right. So yeah, next, let's try another question. Question number 14. How do you make sure you stay socially connected? So what I do is that because every weekday, currently I work on a graveyard shift and I work from home. So imagine I literally don't have a human personal or physical contact if I don't step out of my house. So I really try to do my best to uh, like take a walk after my shift, which is like early in the morning, around 6 a.m. Second is I really do my best to hang out with friends and family on weekends. There are days that when I really feel like I'm about to bark or I already forgot how to speak. I usually invite friends or go to my sister's house to spend time with them. But sometimes I also go to cafes just to feel like I am accompanied. I am not by myself. So yeah. Um, Number 15, has anyone made assumptions or comment about your choice to live alone? Uh, Not really assumptions, but it's more of comment. Like they always, it's question, sorry. They always ask like, don't you feel bored? Don't you find it hard? Isn't it hard to live alone? Something like that. And I always just say, I'm used to it. It's the new normal. That's how I try to answer that question real fast. Um, Next category, growth and wins. So the question is, what habits or routines did you develop on your own? I think one is since I have, I am in control of everything. This is something that I just started a few months ago. Um, I am obsessed with having a very good oral hygiene. So I really take my time when I really brush, especially in the end of the day, because I feel like, of course, all of the gunk, all of the food debris are stuck in your mouth. Especially I have my braces on, so I invested on water flosser and electric toothbrush so that I make sure that is something that is a routine that I cannot miss. But anyway, uh, just because I don't have to worry about someone waiting for me in the restroom that I take so much time. That very unique, you know. But anyway, another one is probably routine is when I start a chore, I usually end up doing everything. Like when I feel like I want to reorganize my living room, I end up cleaning, I end up decluttering, deep cleaning, even the rest. Like it's a domino effect. I cannot say it's really uh habit, but it happened more often than when I was still living with the family. All right, next is number 17. What's a moment when you felt really proud of yourself? Oh, okay. Um, I think is there are actually a lot. Number one is when I installed the fixtures, the light fixtures that I have for my house. Yeah. I graduated in a technical how can I say, trade school. So they actually taught us basic electronics, basic welding, something like that. So I was able to, when I was able to install all of those, I felt really proud because they worked and I did not burn the house down. Um, Another one is something that I was really proud of myself is when I felt like I have completed everything I need in the house. Um, I still remember that moment. Like whenever I think of something that I have to do or I need, I have it. And I told myself, oh, as long as I have enough supply in my fridge or enough food and water, I can literally survive staying here for months or even years because yeah, I was very proud of myself that I was able to buy the things that I need for my house to survive. Yeah. Um, Next, last question for this category. What did you learn to do that you never thought you could? Hmm. I think, uh, well, hang on. I honestly don't have something on top of my mind. Not that I'm saying I know everything, not that I'm saying that I'm an expert in everything, but I always try things and um, I'm very exposed to life. I grew up in a um, very simple life. So that actually taught me to start learning things as young as an elementary student. Like I learned cooking early. I learned how to do chores early. So basically, everything are taught to me all throughout my lifetime. And when I started living alone, I just applied them. So, yeah, I cannot really think of something that I never thought I could. Um, Maybe this is very funny, but just to answer the question, is probably getting drunk by myself. Yeah. So there are days that I randomly feel like I want to drink, but I don't have the energy to, entertain someone at home, or I don't have the energy to go out. So yeah, I just grab some bottles and then just drink by myself and get drunk by myself. Okay. Um, Next is what? Sorry, that is the last question for that category, and I think we only have two last two categories before we complete the 24 questions. This is about hard truth. When was the lowest or scariest point? I think the lowest and scariest point is when I got really, really sick. Um, So that time I got I had what you call that upper respiratory tract infection, which made me really sick. Like I was having a very high fever around 40 degrees Celsius. I was already hallucinating. I could barely walk. I couldn't even go downstairs to grab some food since my room is upstairs. So at that time, I was very helpless. Like I even questioned myself um, if living alone is worth it because, now that I'm sick, I feel like I'm about to lose my life and I'm just by myself. So yeah, fortunately, um, I just tried to push myself to go downstairs and um, I had to crawl. Yeah, that was a very difficult time. I had to crawl to go downstairs and look for medicine and just literally grab anything that I could eat just for me to feel better. Then I proceeded to call my nephews to um, come and fetch me some food, vitamins, whatever. Then the moment I felt energized, I just instantly drove going to my sister's house, and yeah, I just asked them to look after me as I recover. So yeah, that was probably the lowest and scariest point of living independently. I just want uh, let me add another one is when I accidentally twisted my ankle on when I was stepping on the literally last step of the stairs. So I did a misstep and twisted my ankle and I fell, like my whole body fell to the ground. And I felt like my foot was like stabbed a lot of times. It was very, very, very painful. And at that time, I got really scared, like to the point that what if, fortunately, it did not happen, but what if I hit my head and lost my consciousness? What if I landed on something that could have stabbed me, something like that? So I got really scared at that time. So I became extra careful as well. And um, I also realized I had to invest on an Apple Watch so that it can help me contact people or how can I say alert people if something happens to me at all. So yeah, next question. Um, have you ever wanted to give it up and move back in with someone or with my family? Of course, there were days that um, I felt like that, especially when I unexpectedly lose my job or when the times that I will really wanted to quit um, the job that was very financially fulfilling. So of course, imagine you instantly losing your um, financial resource, and living alone is very dependent on you being able to finance yourself. So at that time when I lost my job because my client pulled out from my employer, I felt like I was about to lose it. But yeah, fortunately, I have my faith with me. I have my brothers and sisters in Christ. Yeah, so they picked me up and yeah, they were able to encourage me, and yeah, I was able to find a job. But definitely, there would be a time that you would want to give up and move back to um, or with your family. Now, for the last category, these are the questions from 21 to 24. It's about now, what's next? Now, number 21, how do you feel now after 3 years? After 3 years, I can still say that I love the decision and the fact that I live independently. I actually am not sure if I can still live um, with someone because yeah, I'm very dependent. I'm very specific on what I want now, and it's still a work in progress. I still learn a lot of things. I still deal with problems. I still have my weakness. Um, So it's an ending cycle, or an ending journey that you would always face challenges. Number 22, would you recommend living alone to others? Why or why not? I would recommend it if you are a person who really wants to challenge yourself, who wants to know more about yourself, who, who just want to do it. For me, I think everyone has to try to live independently so that you would get to know more about yourself, your capability, your limitations, how amazing are you as a person. But maybe why not? Maybe I will not recommend living independently if you have, how can I say, terminal illness. I don't know if that's the right term, but like if you can, or you are very dependent on other people's help because of your health condition. I don't think that is something, or living independently is something you have to do, because if something happens to you, there is literally no one who would have an idea. So yeah, second to the last question, what advice would you give someone about to live alone for the first time? I think is that explore things. Do not be afraid to try to, try to do things. Like if you feel like you want to learn how to bake, then do it. If you feel like you wanted to try, doing a DIY project in your bedroom, just do it. There is no limitation on how you would improve yourself if you live alone. So just do it. As long as you're not going to do something illegal, you're not stepping on someone, you're not bothering other people, just do it. That is something that um I always tell people when they ask me if they should live independently. It's something, it's really a life-changing experience. And yeah, last question. What's next for me? Still living solo or ready for something new? Well, honestly, as I said earlier, I still see myself living independently. Um, but also it also means that, I'm also open to meeting and having a live-in partner. Of course, having a partner in your house can instantly remove you living independently or solo because you already have someone to depend on. But yeah, original plan is, to still live independently. But if God or the universe will give me someone, a great partner to live with, why not? So I think that it's something that living independently has taught me, is to just be open to new things, be open to experience, be open to learning. So yeah, I think that is all of the 24 questions that ChatGPT made for me, as a checkpoint of me after 3 years living independently of peace.